Hi everyone, hope everyone installed PyCharm and PySpark which we saw in the previous video, and today we are going to see what data engineering all about, like what are the tools are used, what we need to learn to get into the engineering role, and what these data engineering guys are doing on day-to-day basis. That's what we are going to see today. Let's get into the video. So first of all, let me share my screen. So I hope if you're working in IT, you might have heard this all the time. Like I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see? Are you able to hear? So yeah, I'm sharing my screen and okay. So first, what data engineering guys do? What engineers do, right? That's what we will see first. So what they do? They just do the ETL. They get the data from somewhere. Get the data from somewhere and then transform it and then load it. Okay, like basically this is what they do most of the time, we can say. And sometimes they do data processing, like changing the data from one form to another, all these things. So mostly this is what data engineers does. So get the data from somewhere. So what is it somewhere means? It may be anywhere, right? So it may be streaming or batch, which is from Oracle or mysql, etc, right? So you get the idea. So like data engineering people will get data from anywhere. So there's what is the job is they have to find the right tools which using which they can process the data and bring that to one place and then do all the massaging of the data and then load it into another place. So this is a basic thing what they do. And in order to do that, what does they need? So let's break it up like stage by stage. So get the data from somewhere. So overall they were using the data. So basically data means most of the data now that is in Oracle and all the RDBMS, right? So what we need is SQL basics. Okay, SQL basics or more knowledge on SQL is preferred, but you need to understand SQL basics and data warehousing concepts. So this is basically needed in order to get the data engineering role. Everything you want to understand, everything you need to get these two basics first. And then what next? Next is just ETL. What we talk is ETL: extract, transform, load. Extract, transform, load, right? So for extracting, what do they need? They want tool knowledge, some tool knowledge. And nowadays most of the companies are using big data. So most of the companies are using big data, so they need big data knowledge. So big data knowledge, what is big data? Big data itself has vast number of tools, right? If you just go and type Google and type big data tools, you will get hundreds of tools. Just let me go to image and see what do we get, right? Like you get hundreds of images. See, this is one of the example image where you're getting thousands and almost it's like which one to learn, which one to leave, that kind of thing. So basically you need something which is from the source, like getting the data. Basically let me summarize. So getting the streaming data, if you're getting, you need Kafka. You need a Kafka knowledge. Most of the companies are using Kafka nowadays, so you need the Kafka. And then processing, you need Spark knowledge. So if you learn Spark, that you are almost good. Most of the companies are using Spark and some of the companies using Flink and all these stuff, but Spark is fine. And what is the loading? Like storing the data. Storing where? Like NoSQL we can say, or data warehousing. So USING or HDFS, etc. Right? So you need like this concept, these languages. NoSQL you can say hbase or Cassandra. All these things you may learn that is needed. So this is the basics needed for from the big data background. And what else do we need? I would say from my experience as a data engineer, you would need Linux experience, basics of Linux, because most of the work we do is in Linux. So basics of Linux I would recommend. And what else we need is you need one programming language. So all these things, right, these all comes into programming. So if you learn one programming language, you are better off. You have advantage edge over another edge in the market. So you can learn any language, which can be Java, Scala or Python. So you can choose any one language. I personally choose Python, and I started learning recently, and I've been working with my Python myself for a long time, but I did not learn quite well, like go into the depth of it and do all these sort of things, I never done that, so now I started doing. So that's fun actually. But I mostly work on Java and Scala in my projects. So you can learn anyone should be fine. So this is a basic stack you need. Okay. So you need to get the SQL basics, data warehousing, big data knowledge, streaming, processing, storing, and Linux, Java, Scala. So is that enough? We missed one important thing. Can you guess? You might have guessed, right? It's cloud, nothing but cloud. Without cloud, there is nothing, because all the environment now it is going from on-premises to it is going to cloud. So you may need to have basic of AWS or Azure or GCP based on where you work. So personally, I would suggest like you can just learn any one cloud tool. You can just choose AWS, which is very popular and number one leader in the market. And if you get a chance to work on something else based on your project, it's fine. You can easily learn that. I experienced myself. It's not that big deal, because SHS is going to be the same. All the concepts are going to be the same. So you are better off if you learn any one. You can just switch your learning to something else. It is easy. So just learn one and get a certification. You're good. I would say that's my personal opinion. So this is the basic thing you need, and you can just search the Google jobs, whatever jobs, wherever you're in, India, US or UK, wherever the country you are in, you can just search the job posting and check whether this is all needed for data engineering, big data engineering, all these stuff, they just correlate and differentiate. This is all needed. You can just verify yourself. You can use it for your own good, and you can start learning all these things, and then you can become a data engineer. So data engineering, the job is mainly focus on getting the data from somewhere and transform and then load it, and the reverse can be true. And some places now Snowflake is also coming. So I would say this is optional. Snowflake engineer, that's going to be optional, but it's good to have the basic knowledge of it. But these things are still evolving, so you can expect more tools on the coming days or coming years as well. This area is booming, and data is a new oil. Already the oil is all over the world, and as you know, most of the data companies are doing really well in the world market, and top 5-10 companies are all already data companies. So next, okay, this is what I wanted to talk to you and give you the knowledge what data engineering all about, what data engineers do, and what tools you have to learn. All these things I want to talk about. So I hope it gave you some idea what is the data engineering all about, what tools you have to learn, and you are not getting lost in this based on the tool I told, because there are a lot. If you just go Google data engineering, you get a lot of things. So I just based on my experience, and I've been researching on the job market simply to help my students and all these people. So this is what I know from the experience, what's getting. If I missed something or if you know anything, just feel free to give in the comment. And in the next video, we are going to do something interesting. You guess what? We'll just Google and see what is the job posting and whether what we seen is really true or not. Let's see what. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and write your comments. And we started posting videos in English so that it can help others and reach more wider people. And if you would like to support, please share it to your friends as well. And we'll see you in the next video in the data engineering series. And we have the playlist exclusively created for this, and you can go check it out, that playlist videos. Do not miss any updates. Bye.